Today, I want to go over what you need to do if you have a liquidity event in crypto. And so this is going to be different for everybody based on their situation. What I want to give you is a rough outline of some of the things that you should be thinking about if you do come into a large sum of money from an investment. You know, there's people that have bought into like SHIB, a couple $1,000. Now they're a billionaire. Same thing with Doge, same thing with Bitcoin, same thing with a lot of these cryptocurrencies. Over the past decade, people have made a lot of money very quickly. And so in anticipation of that, hopefully that's you. That would be why you're watching this video, right? You believe that you're going to be wealthy because of an investment you've made. So let's get into what to do if that happens. First off, there's going to be taxable implications for you selling. So ideally, the best way to leverage a crypto asset with no tax implications would be to take loans against it or collateralized loans. There's some DeFi protocols that currently offer this with specific assets. There's also some CeFi protocols, which aren't really protocols. They're a centralized exchange or somebody that will loan against your cryptocurrency. So some examples that I can think of for DeFi would be like Aave or Compound for Ethereum. Those that exist that are centralized or an exchange that will do that would be something like Nexo. And in these, they will give you up to a certain amount against the collateral that you post. And then charge you a certain interest rate based on stipulations, right? So on Nexo, if you're not holding any of their tokens, then it's not the best interest rate. They incentivize people that loan on their platform to hold tokens so that they get a better interest rate. And it also props up their token, right? And you can also stake on their platform to earn yield. I currently don't do any of that just because of the volatility in the space until it's more established. You're going to see a lot of these people like Celsius and Luna. There's been a lot of things that have happened that would cause concern. And so for those reasons, I don't do those things, but these things exist. So in the future, when you're watching this video, hopefully the space is a little more established and there are resources for you to do this. So you would then take your collateral from your cold wallet or wherever you're holding it, post it inside the DeFi protocol or with this entity, and then take a loan against it at a low interest rate, ideally something less than 4%. And hopefully the asset that you're posting as collateral will continue to appreciate in value. And so it will basically pay the loan off itself. And the cool thing about collateralized loans, especially with these DeFi protocols, is the interest just runs until you repay the loan. And so there are no structured payments like you normally see with a vehicle or a home. The interest just continues to compound until it's paid back. But if the asset continues to appreciate, then you're looking at, okay, so as an example, let's say you posted $100,000 and they allowed you to take a 50% loan against it. So you got $50,000 loan at 4%, but the asset, let's say it took 10 of them to get to that. There were $10,000 a piece when Bitcoin was $10,000 a piece. And it then went to $50,000 a piece because Bitcoin did go to almost 70,000 in 2021. And so that would give you, it would only take, it went up 5 times. So 1/5 of the collateral to pay that loan off that it would have taken before. So only 1 Bitcoin would have paid off that entire loan in that situation. Now, obviously interest would have accrued between the time when you took the loan and when you paid it off. But you get my point, right? So it takes less of the collateral that you posted to pay off the loan at a later date, as long as it continued to appreciate in price. People have been doing this for forever with their 401ks and their stocks. We even do it with whole life policies. You can pre-fund a whole life policy and then take a cash loan against it. Fidelity, Goldman Sachs will issue these loans at very low interest rates. And so they call that infinite banking because you continue to draw against it and you don't ever have to pay it back because the life insurance policy will pay it off on your death. So anyway, this would work similar, right? You post the collateral as long as it continues to appreciate in value over time. It would take less and less of the collateral posted to pay off the loan later, and you would get to leverage that and use the funds for whatever you wanted to in your lifetime. So that's the preferred way of leveraging an asset that's appreciated significantly in value. Now let's get to the part where, maybe you can't do that. So I'm going to speak to tax laws here in the U.S. because that's where I'm domiciled. Other jurisdictions are going to have different tax laws, and this is no way. Just as a disclaimer, I'll go ahead and get into this. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Make your own decisions to make educated and insightful decisions. You should consult with your CPA, investment advisor, a tax accountant, financial advisor, whoever else you deem worthy that is licensed. So, not me. I'm just going to tell you what I would do in this situation. We'll do it that way. So, if I came into, let's say, $20 million off of a small, modest investment, maybe I invested $50,000 or $10,000 to get my 20 mil, which has happened in crypto. So hopefully, again, that's you. At this point, maybe I want to cash out. I'm made to cash out. I don't have the option of taking loans against it. I would then have to do things to offset that income. And the first thing that I'm going to do is set up entities. So wealthy people have control of everything but own nothing. And that does a few things. So you set up a trust, and then you'll have a holding company underneath that trust that then has entities underneath that to further separate or mitigate risk. So you'll get with a good attorney. Hopefully you find somebody in the digital asset space. If you don't have somebody, I have those people. I've been working to build a multifamily office that deals directly with digital asset liquidity events. If that's something you're interested in, you can reach out to me, or you can look for these people yourself online. So I would find those people. I would get entities set up. These cost anywhere between $3,000 to $20,000, depends on how complex the entity you want to set up is. If it's a foundation, and these are each individual ones. So you would have the trust cost some money, the holding company costs some money, each LLC that you're going to use to invest underneath that costs some money, and then those would hold your assets. Another fancy way that you could mitigate your tax liability, and if you're feeling philanthropic, like you want to give back, right? You want to help other people. You could create a charity trust and donate your earnings. You don't even have to sell at this point, which is cool. You don't even have to sell your cryptocurrency. You can donate it to the charity trust and then take that full amount and write it off to offset your income if you did liquidate a portion. So maybe we'll do it this way. You sold a quarter of it and you donate the rest of it to the charity trust, and you'd be able to write off what you liquidated. So there's a bunch of different ways to do this. And again, just speaking to tax laws here in the US, depending on what jurisdiction you're in, things are definitely different. As I'm setting up this network of people across the globe to help facilitate a coming liquidity event that I'll be participating in, I've found out that things range wildly depending on where you are. So I would get with somebody in your area that's competent in tax law, a CPA, or an accountant that deals with high net worth individuals, and consult with them, pay for their time, and see what they would do to help you in that situation prior to even selling. Tell them, hey, I'll pay you, I'll liquidate enough to pay you. We need to figure out what I need to do to offset my taxes from this income. So that's another piece that I'm fortunate enough to have here in the US. I deal with some CFOs, CPAs, accountants that all deal with digital assets. Some of them manage DAOs. And so, again, reach out to me if that's something that you're interested in. Happy to facilitate that for you. So once you have those two things in place, then you should be able to assign your cryptocurrency over to one of those entities that you've created with this attorney and structured it legally. It's ideally filed in the right jurisdiction also, because there's certain implications as far as anonymity and then tax implications depending on what state you file in here in the US. So overseas, it's the same way depending on what jurisdiction you filed this entity in. There may be tax implications for transferring it there. And then also, depending on what type of entity you've structured, it may be easier or more difficult for people to ascertain who you are, or even come after you and take those assets. So you definitely want to work with somebody that's been doing this for a long time and understands these things specific to your jurisdiction and your location. But once you have that in place and you've transferred those items, again, work with the CPA or somebody else, financial advisor, accountant that is familiar with tax law in your area to hopefully do something with that revenue that you've generated to offset the capital gains that you're going to incur from the appreciation in your investment. You're going to want to basically invest the money somewhere that it's going to continue to make money. So the way I look at things, I want to own assets that pay me cash. It'll pay for my liabilities. So as an example, you might want to purchase a car wash as one of the LLCs underneath your holding company with the funds that you've donated or transferred there, that would then spit off cash flow to purchase whatever vehicle you want to purchase. Some people want fancy cars. Some people want just something to get them from point A to point B. But if you have a car wash spitting off anywhere between $1,000 and $10,000 a month in revenue, that would easily pay for all the maintenance, the vehicle, the payment, the insurance, tax title license, all the stuff. And so that's kind of how I think about things. I would then use my money to start purchasing assets that spit off cash flow to pay for the liabilities and the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And so that's all the time I have with you guys today. I hope you really enjoyed this and found it insightful, provided you guys some value. I'm going to continue to do these. I'll probably, maybe I can set aside 20 minutes a day to just go over some things that I'm thinking about on a daily basis or might be helpful to you. And I'll bring that to you through YouTube. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.